Did you ever come across a situation where the kids, they have a beautiful life and they have a rich life until their parents separate or they divorce, or maybe one parent dies? I think in that situation, it was me who was, when I was young, I went through that situation. So that's how things have started. So on this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the journey that I took to really at the end to decide I need to leave work that was giving me all beautiful things that I wanted, everything that was I wanted. So let me share with you all the journeys that I took until I decided to leave the job. And also, there's also books that they've changed my life. The books that I've read, one friend of mine, they've given me one book, and that book changed my life. I remember me and him at work, we had to change books, and then that book changed my life. I started to think differently. I immediately changed to, to say I want to start over. So let's start. My name is Samuel Masia. I'm running a 7-figure music production business in South Africa. That's what gives me the right to really give you more advices, because it's been 10 years running the business, and then I've got much knowledge in terms of positioning, in terms of marketing, in terms of a lot of things as an entrepreneurship. Yes, so stay tuned so that you can learn more. How it started, I think when I was young, I had two parents that I was staying with, and which one parent, which was my dad, was working in Pretoria, having a very good job, where he was supporting us, was giving us a very powerful life, a good life that when you need something, in those days, long time ago, South Africa was bit poor. We didn't have much information like this, where internet is around the corner, where you can make money easily. In those years, the only way you can make good money and buy the car is when you work in Joburg, in Johannesburg. Johannesburg is our capital city in Gauteng. So unfortunately, at some point they had to separate, and then when they separated, my dad, yes, was tried his means to keep on giving us more, but now remember, it's 2 houses now. And then unfortunately, things turned so badly that we had to adjust to a new situation where now we are surviving with little money that comes from my mom. But my dad was still supporting us. But unfortunately now, he was having 2 houses, so he couldn't support with full strength. And then at some point, he died. So it means that money was coming from him. Now it's zero. So it means now we're surviving with my mom's money. So what happened is my mom had to start adjusting. She was a housewife in those years. So now she had to, immediately after the divorce, he had to start looking for a work. And then I'm telling you, we were struggling. Things were so bad. But unfortunately, she was a very powerful lady, because she took whatever it takes to make sure that we're having at least something to eat and everything. I remember she had to start to work for black people, giving her small amount of money, where she started to work in the shops and stuff like that. And at some point, she had to go to Joburg to work for white people. That's where I started to learn life. So by that time, my mom, she was very wise. I remember she used to work during the day. She worked this job. At afternoon, she goes to the train station. She will put clothes down where she will sell. And then in the morning, she's working in the white person's house. Later on, she's going to the train, also over the weekends. And then that money was the money that was being able to support us at home. Also to give me, because into my brothers and sisters, I was the first person to go to tertiary. Also, she had to make a plan to give me to pay the rent in Pretoria. That was a powerful step. I think this thing of entrepreneurship started there for me. So what happened is I went to tertiary. Yes, I went to UNISA because my marks were not very good. I had to go to UNISA to really register. When I got there, I remember I didn't know Joburg by that time. I was going with a friend, and the friend was the person that was giving me information about the school, because we didn't have much information like internet like now, So I went there. I remember I had to just decide what is it that I'm gonna do, but I never research about it. I remember because my dad was sometimes he was fixing the cars and stuff like that. He was working in an engineering company. So when I get there, I just wanted to become like my dad. So what I did is I just checked on a brochure, and then I saw anything with engineering. After that, I had to change the course, went to another school, which it's a college now. That one was a university. They were not really giving courses about engineering, So I went to a college where they offer engineering studying with it. I did my fitting studies there. When I was there, still there, the problem I was having issues was like, okay, fine, I want to be an engineer like my dad was doing. Like I thought maybe fixing a car, fixing machine and everything is becoming an engineer. So I wanted to be an engineer because I was helping my dad a lot with hands and stuff like that. So what happened is, unfortunately by that time, I couldn't research myself very well. So I will say, become careful on choosing something that you're going to live with it for some time, because you must know that. But I feel like maybe God at some point is got a way of teaching us things, So yeah, I studied fitting and tearing and courses, and then I finished. After I finished, came to Lephalale. I applied for a few jobs in Pretoria, and then I remember my first job was in pen and beating, and I quitted the job within 1 week because the boss was not good, and the people it was not a nice environment. So I had to come to Lephalale. I applied, me with my friend, I remember Douglas, we had to apply, and then we got the job. Firstly, it was in Exxaro. Unfortunately, Exxaro, I was alone by that time. Unfortunately, Exxaro, they have to chase me away because really my heart was not there. I remember I had to do music at afternoon, and then I have to go travel maybe to church over the weekend, do music. On Monday, I was flipping tired. So now, that's when they chased me away. After they chased me away, I think there was a chance where I applied a long time ago for another company. Unfortunately, another company called me. I had to come back. Okay, the company was very good. I trained as an artisan, finished, got my trade test, and then I passed my trade test, and I got my certificates. And then they took us to sites where I started to become a steel erector first, and after that we changed to become a rigger and everything. Unfortunately, the bad part is, when I was there, it was so painful, because every weekend I would go out and do music. Every weekend, when I was at work, I will hide to find myself so that I can be able to write a song or coming up with a melody or something. That's when I realized that there's something that's not going good. Unfortunately, I had to decide. I remember there was points where at work they will tell me, you need to be at work and then you need to do extra jobs, and I couldn't do it. And the other thing is, you find maybe I will go to the doctor, and then I'll talk to the doctor and say, please, I'm having a pain here on my chest. Can you give me the letter so that I must not go to work? And then so that I must not just go to that environment. So I hated the job. I thought I loved the job, but I hated the job. So be careful on choosing something that you hate because of money, because sometimes it's so painful to be in an environment. Yes, I could see people, they always say, no, you need to follow the money, make the money first and everything. But sometimes some people, because of money, we take big risk, It was so tough. I remember I had to wake up every day at 4:30. When I go, I will listen to music. I will do everything to do with music, And then by that time, I had to save money. Started some bands there and then there, and then I saved little money, and then I bought a small sound, and then over the weekend, then people, they will hire that sound, and then I'll give them the sound, and they will give me money. Unfortunately, by that time, I was like, oh, so this can be the business, ne? So what about if I make sure that I save much money, and then I can go out of this business and then start a new business, because I'm hardly at work. It was not keen until one day, me and this friend of mine, I think you know himself, I'm afraid to mention people's names, we're sitting communicating about we're sitting talking about business and then talking about the wealth of this world and stuff like that. And then by that time there was a book that I read, which this book was this one. So I bought this book. It was first time I started to read the books, and then I bought this book and then I read the book. The book was just explaining to me that you don't have to be in one place and relax. You just have to keep on moving, because the people most of the time that are relaxing in one, they choose one place, they find the cheese and relax. Most of the time you find that the cheese on the other side is no more. And then when you are relaxing, and then you are relaxing, and then find out when the cheese is not there anymore, you're gonna be struggling. I told my friend about that book, and unfortunately he introduced me to another book, which is this one. He said, can you go and read this one? I borrowed him Who Moved My Cheese. He borrowed me the other book. On that book, this is where things have turned, because here Kawasaki was just teaching you that in this world, people, they don't change time for money. Just be careful where you are. You find yourself changing time for money. Okay, let's give you an example. As people, we are working for the people that we love, right? And then, but think about it. When one day things they turn, that maybe you hit by a car, or you are no more, or maybe you don't have a job anymore, or something cuts your hand, do you know that those people that you say you love them, if they depend on you, they're gonna be struggling. They're gonna be in poverty because of you. That's the book was just teaching me that. The book was just teaching me that there is a lot of people that are using other people's money to gain the wealth of this world. So that's when I was like, oh, that's when I realized that it's not good as a person. You saying you love the people that are depending on you, but everything depends on your hand. Everything depends on your time. You are wrong. So that's when the book taught me that you need to start building a wealth now. When you are still having energy, you need to move as fast as you can to start building a wealth for the people you saying you love. The people you saying you love. So unfortunately, I had to quit. After I quitted, I took a lot of money that I had, almost all of it, and I invested in one business. At the end of the day, it was a tough thing I made in my life. But the other thing that I loved is, what I'm enjoying now is, every year things are elevating. Every year things are changing. Money is changing. I'm not getting the money that I was getting a long time ago. Every year things are changing. So unfortunately, I'll say, be careful when you say you love the people that you say you love. But if everything depends on your hand, please, if you love the videos and then maybe you think I'm giving you more value, can you just subscribe and give us the like? That was the reason I had to leave my job. Yeah, thank you.